Taboo Talks.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Taboo Talks, Unfiltered Debates. I'm glad you're here. Today's topic? Well, it's heavy, it's uncomfortable, and it's one of those conversations that, to be honest, a lot of people would rather avoid. But we're diving in because it's important to talk about it. The possibility of rehabilitating pedophiles. Now, I know you're probably thinking, why on earth would we even consider rehabilitating someone who has these kinds of desires? Aren't they just monsters? And trust me, I get it. The idea of someone being attracted to children is deeply unsettling. It's absolutely revolting to most people, and it's easy to let those emotions take over. But if we're being honest, and that's what we're here to do, we need to ask some tough questions, no matter how uncomfortable they are. First off, let's clear something up. Pedophilia is a sexual attraction to prepubescent children. It's not the same thing as sexual abuse, but the two are often tied together. There's a massive difference between having these urges and acting on them. A person might have these feelings and never, ever harm a child. In fact, studies suggest that some people with pedophilic tendencies live their entire lives without ever acting on them. That doesn't excuse the feelings, obviously, but it's important to understand that not every pedophile is a child molester. Some are actively trying to control their urges, and that's where the conversation about rehabilitation comes in. Rehabilitation, when you think about it, sounds like something we do for people who've committed crimes, right? We're talking about rehabilitation programs in prisons or therapy for those who have harmed others. But what about those who haven't committed any crime? Is there room for them to change? Can they be helped before they hurt anyone? The answer, according to some studies, is that it's possible, but it's complex. It's not a simple yes or no. Some psychologists argue that treatment programs, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, have been shown to reduce recidivism among offenders. These programs teach individuals how to change their behavior, manage their impulses, and better understand their own emotions. There's evidence that therapy can be effective in preventing people from acting on harmful impulses. But that doesn't mean it's a one-size-fits-all fix. Every case is different, and the road to rehabilitation is long, tough, and filled with setbacks. But there's another question we need to consider. Should society even give these individuals the chance to rehabilitate? Let's be real here. There's a lot of outrage when people even suggest offering therapy or counseling to someone with pedophilic tendencies. People often say, why should they be helped? They should just be locked up. And while that may feel like the easy answer, it doesn't necessarily make society safer in the long run. Here's why. Not everyone who has pedophilic tendencies commits abuse. In fact, research shows that a significant portion of individuals who are attracted to children never act on it. So if we ostracize them, lock them up, and throw away the key without offering any support, we risk turning them into society's outcasts. And that, my friends, could make them even more dangerous. We all know that when people feel pushed to the edge, when they feel there's no way back, that's when the most serious crimes happen. If we give them no opportunity for help, if there's no room for change, we're essentially telling them they're beyond saving. And that could lead to worse consequences. But, and I can't stress this enough, it's not just about feeling sorry for someone with these tendencies. It's about recognizing that these people are human beings who, if left unchecked, might end up harming children. Therapy and intervention are crucial not just for their rehabilitation, but for the protection of potential victims. The goal isn't just to help the person with these feelings, but to prevent them from acting on those feelings. So let's talk about what that intervention could look like. Many experts suggest a combination of therapy, social support, and medical intervention. Medications, like hormonal treatments that reduce sexual urges, are sometimes used in certain cases. This is controversial, though, because it's not a guaranteed solution and it raises ethical questions about bodily autonomy. But it's a tool that some researchers and clinicians believe could be useful, especially when combined with ongoing therapy. There's also something to be said for community support. There are online forums and support groups where people with pedophilic tendencies, who have never acted on them, can get the help they need without feeling like total outcasts. They can talk to others who understand their struggles, learn coping mechanisms, and find guidance to live a life where they don't hurt anyone. But here's the thing. These groups are often kept secret or hidden because of the stigma that surrounds this issue. And that's a huge problem because it keeps people in the dark. It isolates them and makes them more likely to act out because they feel they have nowhere to turn. Let's also look at how we treat those who have already acted on their urges. For those who have abused children, the focus should be on rehabilitation as well. This isn't about excusing their behavior or suggesting that they shouldn't be held accountable. They absolutely should be. But the truth is, people can change. And some, after being incarcerated or undergoing therapy, have shown signs of remorse and have never reoffended. It's a painful process, no doubt, but it's possible for them to turn things around if they truly want to. It's not easy. And there's no guarantee of success, but if we want to prevent further harm, we need to focus on rehabilitation, not just punishment. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, this all sounds well and good, but what about the victims, the children who've been hurt? And that's where we get into the core of this conversation. We cannot talk about rehabilitation without acknowledging the victims. The trauma caused by abuse is long-lasting, and the survivors need support, healing, and justice. This conversation is in no way minimizing the impact of abuse on children. What we're talking about is the possibility of preventing future victims, protecting kids from harm before it even happens. So, the question remains, can pedophiles be rehabilitated? The short answer is maybe. It depends on the individual, the level of support they have, and whether they're committed to seeking help. But we have to face the uncomfortable truth. If we don't explore rehabilitation as a potential solution, we might be closing the door to preventing future abuse. It's a complex issue, no doubt, and it's one that will make many of us uncomfortable. But avoiding the conversation doesn't make it go away. This is a topic that has been swept under the rug for too long, and it's time to shine a light on it. We have to ask the tough questions, even if they don't have easy answers. Because if we want to protect children, we need to look at all the angles, including the possibility of rehabilitation. So let's keep this conversation going, not just here, but everywhere. It's time we all take a deep breath, step out of our comfort zones, and talk about the things that matter, no matter how hard they are. Thanks for tuning in to Taboo Talks. Let's keep challenging the status quo. Keep having these hard conversations and keep learning from each other. Catch you next time.
Taboo Talks, we light the flame, push the boundaries, break the game. No filter, no disguise. We open minds, we open eyes. Taboo Talks will carry on, challenging thoughts until they're gone.